Good afternoon for the second afternoon slot here in Gala A. Robson is going to be talking to us about more education stuff, particularly relating to the its shaping education. Robson gave a really inspiring keynote at PyCon ZA last year, so I'm really excited to hear what he has to say. He's currently with Bank of Namibia, but education is a big passion for him. So without further ado, over to Robson.
This post-lunch attendance. It's expected. Anyway, I just want to thank everybody for standing behind and willing to listen to what we have to share with you guys. Without further not waste time, today I really just want to talk about this topic that I came up with based on my own anecdotes and experiences, and also things like that I have, learned in the past few years of attending different PyCons and Jungle-cons. So I decided to come up with a title of what I have observed, which is I have seen so many people out there that are inspiring the next generation of software developers. And those people are not just like developers or software experts or anything else like that. They are basically just teachers. So as I was introduced already, my name is Robson. I do teach math and computer science, and I also do software development part-time. And that is an image of me just standing behind my university's banner. So I'm currently doing my master's with the University of Namibia as well. And I'm still marking tests at midnight. So basically, I just want to, I made my slides a little bit, because I wanted to see the next slide when it comes through, but it's fine, I'll follow through the phone. So let's get started, I guess. I want to begin with one of the most inspirational quotes that have been said, maybe in the past decade or so, by the former president of South Africa. Someone made these slides already for us, so we just have to plug and play. He once said that education is the greatest weapon you can use to change the world. And literally, it's like, it's just a saying, but if you look at how you have been, growing up through education and anything you have attained, whether it's through formal or informal education, has actually literally some way helped you to get to the stage where you are now and call yourself someone. I think that is really, really powerful, and the sooner we realize it, the more we push people from the streets into school. But I just want to begin. I didn't know the audience is going to be like this, but maybe you can just give me a quick show of hands in the room who is a teacher. Anybody is a teacher? People will literally say, no, I'm a developer. So nobody is a teacher, huh? Hands up. Once upon a time. Oh, that's amazing. Okay, so then, who has ever fixed someone's code? Okay, now keep your hands up if you ever corrected someone's PR. So that does make you a teacher. People perceive teaching as more of as a calling, right? It's something that you have to do because you have a degree of teaching and everything, but people teach every day, right? Either formal or informal at home. Your child brings back homework. Dad, can you help me with this? No, I left those things in grade 5. No, you still have to go back and like, okay, I can remember some math, or you can go to YouTube, but you are literally just teaching. So teaching happens everywhere, and not just in the classroom, okay? Again, basically when people talk about teaching, they basically mean maybe it's just, like feeding knowledge, more of like how we train AI and machine learning and everything, but, or some people have a perception that it's actually perceived this way. A teacher should be someone in a classroom wearing a suit and some official shoes and glasses, and they always teach math. So that's a teacher, that's teaching, that is the picture. And there should be someone listening, and asking questions. So that is basically what we think about teaching, like that is it. But there is a broader picture to that, that many people really don't see. I don't know if you can recognize that person. His name is Daniela Procida. He's a director of engineering at Canonical, and he does engineering, but as we can see in that picture, he's holding a BBC microbit that you plug into the computer and write Python code on it so that you can do so many things with it. And he's doing it in a classroom at PyCon Namibia in 2025. But he is an engineer. So Daniela has been so pivotal in the role that PyCon Namibia has been trying to push into integrating education itself into the conference. So he is the same person that came up with the idea of, he likes kids so much. Like, that is what he would love to do at PyCon Namibia every time he comes every year, because he's always there. And he's also the person that shaped us through our Jungle Africa. At JungleCons, we have like Jungle Girls. I think we also had Jungle Girls at the beginning, and Beginners Day. Such initiatives and programs that are aimed to help people to just, grasp the concepts and learn something before we dive into technical talks that people don't even understand. So here again, I have someone, and this one, I think everybody knows her very well. We have been seeing her around, and she is a teacher as well. She has been enjoying teaching just out of, whatever she is busy with, but she has this initiative that she has also been trying to push from the beginning to teach people how to code and everything. And then whenever she branches out and comes to PyCon Namibia, she really enjoys correcting learners' code and guiding them, and trying to teach them to do exciting things. And these are same people at PyCon Africa, and the same people that are not called teachers but developers, but they literally do inspire learners. As we talk about inspiration, through whatever they do. They are not just here to talk about, web scraping, using requests, using complex Python APIs and everything. They do really enjoy out of their capacity, shaping and inspiring these learners to make a difference. So, as we talk about the future of technology, many people think about the future of tech as, it's all about robotics, it's AI, and it's self-driving cars. Everything is gonna be great, right? But yeah, it's not really just about that. The future can be just great if we, what about things like version updates? What about deprecated libraries, and even basically like moving from Python 2.1 to 2.13 and counting. I mean, people are not using Python 2.1 anymore. Like, of course, the programming ecosystem is going to change as it has been changing. I mean, like Kim was just talking about how, we have to adapt and not like literally feel like we are left behind. But of course, there are some libraries, there are some programming languages that we normally know that are deprecated. But what causes deprecation and what causes all of that is because we as a community are not willing to maintain those projects. And some of those projects have been built through open source by the community, through collaborations. And because we have failed to put together the same community to keep those projects going, they are failing. And then we can laugh at them because everybody wants to push a commercial product, which is great because you are still building it with an open source software which was built by the community. Technology is evolving fast. In the educational context, we are not really catching up, but that is literally what we want. But we can get there. We will get there. But how do we get there, basically? I mean, we can just get on a horse and then try to follow through. Or maybe we can choose an alternative, right? If it's too far, then we can get there. So I don't know now the difference between people riding horses in the 90s and people trying to push robots to Mars with rockets. But yeah, we understand the context. So basically, what do we need to get there if we can use other alternatives? What do we need? We need a lot of oil, like a lot of it. Okay. Do we really need oil? No, we don't really need oil. We need clean energy. It's what everybody is pushing, like let's invest in clean energy, let's, make everything environmentally friendly, which is open source. So the clean energy that everybody is looking for is really just open source. Kuzan was here right now, but unfortunately, he left, but this is his talk. And it's the greatest code of all, like, open source is the greatest team sport. He was presenting Shortkick at PyCon Namibia early this year, and, Shortkick is one of those projects he's pushing into the community, and he even himself know that through community collaborations, Shortkick can even be very, very great. Open source isn't just about free code. It's about freedom to learn, share, and also grow. So what does this all mean, basically? What open source really means is community, right? And community is how we multiply our impact, not by writing more code, but by sharing what we know. And basically, when we teach code, we are not just teaching syntax, we are literally just building communities which are shaping the future of tech. I also want you to know actually how you can get involved in this community, right? So the way you can get involved into shaping the future of technology that we have built up as a community is by, joining the community itself. Your presence at PyCon ZA, at JangoCon, at PyCon Africa, it's pivotal. Whatever you come and share with the community right here helps the same people in the room and inspires them to go out there and start other communities which can join your community and which can contribute more, to the future of the technology that we are here to talk about and that we would like to see in the future. So we should volunteer. Just get out there, sometimes people say, people that are hiring are more likely to hire if they see voluntary work on your resume. It's not really always the case, but we have seen that these communities that we are enjoying and that we are going to, and they are built up through voluntary contributions and people coming together and, putting in their work and, inspiring others as well through voluntary contributions. This is the same thing that is on PyCon Africa website. They're calling out for volunteers and how you have to benefit as a volunteer. You have to connect with people. You're going to make an impact, and it's also a good way of giving back to the community. So you should contribute then. After volunteering, contribute. I know so many people that are using open source software to build their projects and to solve any sort of work-related problems, but how do you give back? Through contributions. I have been volunteering a lot, just even though I am a teacher. I have been on the programs team for JungleCon. People even get surprised, like, how do you just get the time to do that? It's literally just giving back. So making that same community that is inspiring my students, to be software developers, is like literally by giving back. So, but most importantly, what you have to do is teach. Thank you so much. Next time you open your computer, just make sure that you are literally teaching someone new, wherever you are. Thank you so much for your time and attention.
Thanks, Robson. Do we have any questions for Robson? Just checking online, see if there's anything there. Yeah.
Thanks for that talk. It was really good. I'm sort of wondering, like, let's say you have an interest in teaching, but you've got no formal training in teaching. You've never really done it. You don't know if you're going to be any good at it. Do you have any advice, how just to get started, with that?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I don't know if people that started making YouTube channels out of being software developers, is an inspiration or something, but someone is a full-time software developer, right? But they feel like they are passionate to share what they know with the community. And many of the YouTube channels will go for to understand some things that we are doing even at work. Channels that are created by software developers at work themselves. So it's more of a passionate thing. If you are literally willing to share what you know with the community that you love, you put it out there on the internet. You can blog about it, you can put it on YouTube, you can take it on social media.
Thanks for that. Any other questions? No?
And I thank you for that presentation. There are so many open source communities, and some have failed, as we know, and some are really struggling. So my question is, if we're going to make Python successful and sustainable, is volunteering the only thing that's required? I mean, is there anything else in your mind is going to be required for it to support some of the other open source projects that have haven't lasted longer than 5-10 years, for example? And what comes to mind is Luster, for example, open source storage application. It was fantastic, but it lost impetus and momentum. So I just want to check with you, what do you think are some of the things we need to do to give it sustainability for the long term? Thanks.
I think the same question was asked last year at PyCon ZA after the whole keynote, and then we had a whole long Q&A of questions. I think our baseline understanding of that is that open source is dying because we don't have more contributors to open source, and that has been the issue with so many projects that have been dying. And the reason why we don't have many contributors is that Because me, in Mozambique, I am not giving awareness about open source. Right? Even attending PyCon Africa from Mozambique, I'm not going out there to start my PyCon Mozambique, to inspire more developers in Mozambique to contribute to the same community that I went to. So open source awareness is not there. That is literally what the problem is. And if we put it out there even in Africa itself, where it's lacking, then we can even have more open source contributors in Africa.
Well, I think that was a good call to action and a good place to end maybe. So please join me in giving Robson one more round of applause.